Hi, welcome back to the channel. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about, do I think Royal Enfield are getting better with their quality of build, materials that they use to build the bikes up. Their actual engineering design, is it better than it used to be on the older ones? Um, well, to me, I'll leave my comment to the end, I think. Right, I can only comment on the two bikes I've got. I read the internet, and I have had a ride on other Enfields and what have you, and got my own thoughts on those. But we'll go on what I've got here. Now, what's brought me to do this video is this one, the Himalayan. It's my love-hate relationship with this bike continues. I bought this, the Himalayan, obviously the classic looks, as everybody knows. There is not another bike on the market that has the same classic look as this one. Nobody hasn't got the design of this. The new 450, they shouldn't even be calling it a Himalayan to me. They should have called it something different. It's well, really, it's not even an upgrade on this. I don't think, not in design, looks anyway. I bought this because it is a true classic, and that's what I wanted. And as you know, I bought this as a non-runner. Didn't pay much for it, so I wasn't too bothered. I was going to strip it down, do it as a project. But when I actually got into it, the only thing I've come across that was actually physically, mechanically wrong with it was the rocker shafts. It was tapping at the top, which I've replaced the rocker shafts and the blocks, and now it's perfect. Besides that, just normal service items really. Right, well, I stripped it, took all the panels off, polished, cleaned up. Now I've not done no paint on this bike at all. It's just as it is. All I've done is T-cut, polished, waxed. There's virtually no chips on it, on the paintwork or anything. Also, everything metal. That's cast. Metal, mudguard metal. In actual fact, you'll not find anything plastic on it. Everything's metal on it. Now, Himalayan, plastic, cheap plastic. Now, you could say, well, it's an off-road bike, Ian. You know, it needs plastic for the lightness. Well, out of the two bikes, this is the lighter bike. This is nearly 100cc bigger, and this is about, I think it's about 10 kilogram lighter. Now, one of my biggest gripes is that engine is old school. It's the last of the 500s they made, called the UCE engine. It's more alley than what the old cast iron barreled one was. This, up till this last 18 months, was their latest engine, overhead cam, first one they've ever built. So they've had enough years to get the design on this bike correct. Well, this has done 8,000 kilometres, my Himalayan. My Bullet has done 15,000 kilometres. This one, to me, has been nothing but trouble. Had to replace the valves already. Had to shim out the oil pump drive chain on this. I've had the clutch off. Clutch bearing making noises and blah 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 blah. It's had a lot of time and quite a bit of money spent on it. Now, when I finished it all, I was quite pleased with how much quieter it was. Right, we'll just fire this up. Now, for a Himalayan, that is a very quiet engine, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist. If I listen to it, it's like in the lower end there's little bits of rumble and whatnot. It's I have had it to pieces to check it all as well. There's nothing wrong, it's just how they are. But it's quiet for a Himalayan. I've heard a few others and oh god, they're horrendous. And when people hear mine, oh why is yours like that? What you done? What you done? What you done? Right. Now this is old school, old design. Right, before I fire this one up, this one we all know the valve problems, tappet noises and everything else, and this is their modern engine over a cam engine. Now this old school engine, hydraulic tappets in here. There's no valve adjustment whatsoever on this, and this is old school. It should be the other way round. I know this was the last version, but this is hydraulic tappets. So your service costs are cheaper for a start. You haven't got to worry about the valves want adjusting. The clutch on it's massive in this, in the Bullet. The clutch on the Himalayan, it makes all sorts of noises, but there's nothing wrong with it. I pulled that to pieces to check it. It's just how they've designed and built it. Right, let's fire this one up. Now, that's that old design, old school engine running. That is beautiful. Now, how come the older style engine runs like it does, yet that Himalayan, it's not horrendous, mine ain't bad, but it's still not quiet, it's not like this. I've had my Honda NC750X wasn't as nice as this Bullet. So, I don't think that's an improvement. Another thing is, this isn't specifically down to the Himalayan, because most modern bikes are like this, but this is about design of a bike. The battery goes down on this. I'm up in the mountains and the battery can go. Now, I have had a battery go on this already. I was stuck then, but I was on the road. But if I'm in the mountains or at the tracks and the battery goes, what do I do with this? I can't start it. How do I get it home? Now, the Bullet, let me just stand this here. Let's have a look, can you see that bike? Yeah. If the battery goes down on the Bullet, you've got to kickstart with it. Easy as that, eh? Beautiful. Now, to make matters worse, on the Bullet, as you see here on the casing, there's a blank. It's cast into it. That's where the kickstart shaft should be. When you take this casing off and look through there, the mounting points is in for the kickstart. Why on earth did they not put one on it? Don't know. Right. Now, the thing that's really made me make this video, I've just been checking this over. Headstock bearings are going to need replacing now. They're not gone completely, but they're getting quite rough. I took them out at Christmas time and greased them all up. The bike's done 8,000 kilometres. Right, what's sort of pissed me off, shall we say, is the rear suspension on this. Bike's done 8,000 kilometres and it's been giving me a bit of a backache even on the roads, and I haven't been off road for a while on it. And what I noticed was the suspension it's gone solid, absolutely solid. Yet there's no leaks, spring's not broke. I had all the linkage out. Well, I've had it all out again and swing an arm out. Shock still looks like new. I don't know if you can see it in there. But I've took everything to pieces, but everything was greased up anyway. I know I've done it and it still was greased up. There's no leaks on the shock absorber, but it's lost the first third of its travel. So the spring's still good. So now I've got to fit a new shock absorber. Now I could just put a stock one in because the rear shock on it, well, the suspension I used to think was pretty good on this bike. It's one of the things I used to like about it. But there's no point in putting another stock one in to replace it again in another 8,000 kilometres. So it's going to be a YSS shock, which I will do a video fitting it. How much are they now, Sue?
I think I paid about £350 with shipping.
Yeah, £350 for the shock. That's to ship it to us. So this is all money it's adding up on this bike. The amount I spent on this Himalayan is unbelievable. Now, the bullet, this doesn't even have taper roller bearings in headstock. Like round ball bearings in a cage. No play, no nothing. And this has done twice the mileage of this bike. Forks, I bought a new set of fork seals for it because due to its age, I think it's about 7-year-old. I thought they were going to be leaking because it won't have had anything. It wasn't even serviced or looked after properly. No leaks, no nothing. I put different oil in, a thinner weight oil, because the forks have got over 5 inches of travel on them, which is brilliant here for in Bulgaria. I just wanted the forks to work faster. So that's all I've had to do to it, and it's 7 years old. Rear suspension, obviously it's nothing fantastic on these, but it works well enough. It's a shame it hasn't got any damping adjustment, only preload, but it works good. No leaks, no nothing. Well, I'm not even going to bother changing it because I find it quite comfortable. This, well, we just talked about this. I think the Himalayan is just a bit of a money pit like. Quality, the chrome on this. This is all original, no rust anywhere. Wheels, chrome, not a speck of rust anywhere. Even, right, here's one of the things. The spokes on the Himalayan, metal, not mild steel, but steel ones. These, even though it's a poor grade, are stainless. There's barely any metal in them because the magnet won't even, disc is magnetic, so it's these, there's nothing. Never had to adjust them, front or back. This, I do take it down tracks, believe it or not. Perfect all the time. These, the fronts especially, I'm constantly adjusting them. The rears I've not had to adjust, to be honest. So why can they put stainless spokes on this and cheap crap spokes on that? So build quality, it's not looking good for the Himalayan, really, is it? Now, my wife always says to me, she says, how come, she reads the forums, why does your Himalayan always want work on it? And why does other people's run forever? I like watching a bloke called Joe Ryan. He travels all over, well, Australia, New Zealand, and all over the place. And he did a review on his. It's done quite a lot of miles. Never had to do nothing to it, just change oil and filter. Now, the difference is, Himalayan will, how it's designed, will just keep going. It's like an old Land Rover. If it was a Honda, I don't think it would have broke down if it had as many problems as the Himalayan actually does. It's like Ryan's bike. If that was brought to me and he says, do you mind going through it? The list would be unreal what was wrong with it, but it's not going to stop it from riding another 5,000-10,000 kilometres without breaking down. It's never going to let you down, so that's the thing, but don't mean it's right. So I like my bikes to be perfect. Anything I see is getting a bit iffy or wants replacing, I'll strip it, replace it. Some of the mods I've done on the Himalayan, I've done to improve it. With the idea of eventually it'll be a shit-hot bike. But I think by the time I've done, it won't actually be a Himalayan anymore. There used to be a comedy program years and years ago Del Boy, Only Fools and Horses. One of the characters in it was a council worker, road sweeper. In one of the scenes he says, I've had this brush for 27 years. It's had 10 heads on it and 8 shafts. It's not the same brush, is it? I think this is how my Himalayan will be by the time I've done. It'll still say Himalayan, but it won't be the same bike as I bought. Oh well, so do I really think the design and build quality is improved on Royal Enfield? No. Not when you got an old Bullet, but the same design. It's only been tweaked and it's far better. This is a far better quality bike. I mean, the chrome on the silencer, that's this is 7 years old, if not older. There's not even a speck of rust. There's no chrome pitted on it or nothing, you know. It's not like a Triumph or something, you know, you've not had it 5 minutes and everything's gone rusty on it. Beautiful. The alley, everything. Not a single oil leak on this. It's never leaked. This, I've had a few oil leaks. I bought it with 2,000 kilometres on and it had oil leaks. No, it's not leaking now, but you know, these shouldn't be the jobs you have to do. It's like the Himalayan, if you wasn't like me, a mechanic, it could be an expensive bike for you non-mechanical people. But do I want to sell it? I have done, believe me. No, I won't sell it now. One of the reasons is I've got so much money in it, I'd lose a fortune. Yet the wife says, well, why don't you just cut your losses now? You know, it's getting a bit out of hand really for what it is. Yes, there is better bikes on the market. I really fancied the CF Moto 450. Beautiful bike. Comes with all top quality stuff on, fully adjustable suspension, blah, 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 blah. But I look at it and I think, well, yeah, it's a very good bike. But it ain't got the character of this. The character's just not there. I bought this for the character. I sacrificed the power of this engine had got and the road speed it got, and believe me, it takes some getting used to when you've been riding big bikes all your life, and you then start looking for shall we say, excuses of why it's good enough. You see the scenery better, the speed limits are lower nowadays, you're getting older, blah, 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 blah. But really it's underpowered, but I just love the bike. So we're going to persist with it. I actually think this is better than the 450. People are not going to buy the new 450 in the quantities that they bought the 411. This, you can fix it anywhere. The 450 you won't do. People are raving about it, but there again, there's been a lot of people who's ordered them and been on test rides while they've been waiting and cancelled them before they've even got it. Horrendous vibration through the handlebars, through the footrests. That's not what you want on a bike like the Himalayan. It just don't look as good as this. I think once people's got over the extra horsepower, that's all it's selling, that new one, the extra horsepower, and maybe more electrical things you can plug in on the dashboard and junk like that. You know, it's all right for the more modern, younger riders. You know, they can't go anywhere without a Teesmade plugged into the bike, can they? Anyway, I can go on and whinge and moan about this, but I think Royal Enfield have got to step up. It's all right bringing a new design out, it's supposed to be improved, but like this, why did they build it with only 24 horsepower? This is 500, it's got 27. If you bored that out, it still wouldn't have any more horsepower than the old Bullet. So no. Let me know what you think about it anyway. I don't think it's better quality. No, definitely not. But I put up with it. I just like the Royal Enfields. Sometimes I wonder why I do, but I do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I know I've waffled on a little bit. But if you do, please subscribe. Give it a big thumbs up. Leave any comments down below. You know, we always answer them. And anything else on the other videos at the same time you want to know, just leave it on the same post. We'll answer that as well. And I'll see you in the next videos, which will be probably on the Himalayan front fork headstock bearings. And when my new YSS shock comes, I'll be fitting that in here, which is another crap design, how they've done it, but anyway, I'll go into that when we get to it. Right, I'm going now. I'll leave you in peace. Cheers.